outside of Fort St. Domingo in 淡水.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today our group, we decided to go to visit the Fort Domingo. This is a very interesting architecture because it used to be the Spaniards. They come here to Tansui to create this fort. You know, this fort is quite special for me because, you know, European design and also how the brick, it's very unique. Like, for example, people would ask, how come the brick is so red? There's a reason, you know, but I'll talk about it later. And so follow me, please. And so you can see there are flags, total of 9 flags in front of Fort Domingo. The reason why there's 9 flags is because each flag represents how each country was used to own this fort. For example, the first flag, it's the Spanish flag, and later on the Dutch, then the Japanese, the Chinese, and the British, so on and so forth. But each one of them have an interesting story to tell, you know. So as we can go here, you can see there's also the unique of the fort is because they still left the 1897 design in front, but they kind of reconstruct the back. So the back looks more modern, as in they reconstruct in the early 2000s. Okay, so now I'm at the entrance of the second floor, and as we go in, we can see this is like there's many windows in Fort Domingo. People always ask like why there's so many windows. It's because during the Dutch rule, the reason why there's so many windows is because these windows are used for cannons, and there's total of 10 cannons around the fort. So that's why, and after the British arrived, they rent Fort Domingo. They decide to turn the cannon's entrance into windows, like for example the French design. As we can see, this is the office of the British Consul. You can see the inside. This is very the Victorian era design, and the British loves about this is that it's the 19th century Tudor style design. Also, as you can see, the bookcase, the office desk, very professional. As you can follow me, and people, now I'll answer the question why the brick of Fort Domingo is so red. Is because back in a century ago, the British, when they arrived, they kind of use their natural paints to paint over what the fort used to be, and they also add a lot of natural style coating onto the brick, so the brick won't be damaged. And as you can also see here, not each brick is not the same color. It's because you know they make sure, because due to maybe the road construction and reparation, that's why like some bricks colors may look a bit different. So now I'm gonna be at the other room of the second floor of Fort Domingo. So as you can see, this wall is talk about the history of the British consulate office, And you can see how they mark how each year is like a important date of why the British Consulate's office was here, and the true purpose of the British Consul office, as I can see, is diplomatic consulates for overseas citizens. They also have to give maybe helping out overseas citizens, people to be in Taiwan. Okay, so now as you can see in this room, there's lots of old relics. For example, as we can see, this is the Chinese chong. There's also relics such as door frames, nails, or other kinds of ordinary objects that Fort Domingo used back then. And the craft in architecture, which is the cornices, like this one. The cornices, it's special is because it represents the nobility and dignity of the Fort Domingo. Back then, only nobles can have these kind of design in their architecture. To the first floor of Fort Domingo. Follow me. Little house as you can see here. For example, this one is some of the restaurant for probably everyone in Fort Domingo. It's the Chinese style restaurant. So if those locals that work in this quite familiar with this type of style. You can also see Chinese style kitchen. This is where the chefs will cook for the people in Fort Domingo. You can see this is the model ship of the British Consulate. This one they recreated from back from the Spanish arrived, the Dutch that arrived here in Frankfurt. So that's how they recreated the ship. And you can see these two rooms. There are not just any room. This is the holding cell for the Domingo. There's four holding total of 4 holding cells. So this is the first 2. We can see in the middle of the room. There's the model of the Fort Domingo. Looks pretty cute, pretty, very accurate. I would say, it shows that which way we go, which place is the whole view of Fort Domingo. This is our conclusion of Fort Domingo. We've been through every corner of the fort, and I would say, yeah, this is quite a fun experience for our group. And that's it. Thank you for